Alright, what is up guys? Losermaniac here, and welcome back to another video. Today, I want to talk about something that I noticed, earlier today. So, I was finishing up a character for Mass Effect 3. Now, this will go over spoilers for Mass Effect 3, so just keep in mind that if you're playing the Legendary Edition, and you haven't really beaten it, just keep that in mind. I will be talking about spoilers to the game, so keep that in mind. I know I said keep that in mind multiple times. I'm off script here. Now, as I was finishing up, something occurred to me out of nowhere. The ending, there's some of you guys who don't know, there's like 4 endings, but I'm going to talk about 3 of them. I haven't gotten all the endings. I've thought about it, but I was romancing Kaidan at the time, and I have a huge love, had a huge love of Kaidan, so I was just like, I can't do that to him. So yeah, the two, so some guys who don't know, there are like 4 different endings. There's the control ending, there's the synthesis ending, there's the destruction ending, and then there's the refusal ending. And I always refer to like the control, like color-wise, I always refer to like the control as blue, synthesis as green, and then like the destruction as red, and as the red endings, because like it's labeled blue for control, and then green, I picture it being like green, because that's what all these people are soaked into. They are soaked into like this like bask of green, and then the red because that's what's highlighted. It never occurred to me that the 2 main endings, the control and the destruction, are basically the Paragon and Renegade endings. It never occurred to me that that's the case. I always called them the blue and red endings, not realizing that it's a Paragon and Renegade ending. Yet, I think it's like one of the few occasions where, depending on if you pick Renegade or Paragon options, that doesn't affect your morality bar at all. I didn't, and it makes sense if you think about it, because Renegade is like the evil option, or like the rude option. So the fact that you are destroying everything that can kind of be towards something of a renegade character, and Paragon is kind of more like a nice, peaceful, pacifist, whatever type thing, and then controlling them means you're not really killing off anybody except yourself. The only person you're killing in the control ending is yourself. But in the destruction ending, you kill all synthetics, like EDI, the Geth, like all of that, you destroy. And it never occurred to me that the Paragon and Renegade endings would have fit in nicely with those. Now, obviously, I feel like if we're not including the refusal ending, and then I feel like the synthesis ending is kind of like the middle ground. It's kind of like control, but I don't know. There's more to it than just that, or if like you're indecisive. I feel like that'd be one if like you're indecisive. But it never. I don't know how this came up. I was just sitting there, because I was actually of all the times I have counted, I have played Mass Effect from Mass Effect 1 to Mass Effect 3 6 times. 7, I'm starting another character. She's an infiltrator who's romancing Liara, because after I romanced Kaidan, I was like, I need to romance Liara one more time, just because I still had feelings for her, and it just felt weird. Like, some of the dialogue options just felt weird to me, so, yeah. What was I getting at? Yes. I have no idea where I was going. So yeah, I have played the game 6 times, and of the 6 times, I have always picked the destruction ending. And it took me on my 6th playthrough to realize that basically, it's just a Paragon and Renegade choices. That's all it is. Like, who knew, right? I don't know if I'm like the last person to notice this, or maybe some of you guys are just now finding this out, but, or I could be wrong and I'm just like over speculating, but to me it clearly seems, because I've always noticed that in some cases it has always been either a blue ending, a red ending, or a green ending. And I've never played Mass Effect before, but that's how if you asked me, like, before, like, way before I played Mass Effect, how many endings were there, I would tell you 3. I would tell you there's a blue ending, a green ending, and a red ending. Again, green being the synthesis ending. Yeah. It's weird to think, it's weird to think about, but it also makes sense, considering the fact that the red, Renegade is usually the most destructive one, is usually like the, if you're playing like a Renegade playthrough, you are probably a self-destructive asshole. That's basically it. You're an asshole, you prefer violence over peace, or you prefer conflict over peace, and then so this makes the most sense, because this is the one with like the highest kill count, I think. I haven't gone all the endings, but I'm pretty sure, if my knowledge suits me, or if my knowledge is correct, then yes, this is the most destructive ending ever, because EDI dies, all of the Geth dies, and yeah, so it's weird to think about, you know, because, and maybe some of you guys are fairly new to, or maybe some of you guys are understanding that. Hopefully, I hope I'm the last person, because I cannot talk about it. But it's weird to think about. I don't know if that was intentional, or maybe that's not the point. Maybe like it doesn't represent the endings, and I'm just being a bit. Maybe I'm overthinking it. But if that is not the case. If it's the case of, like, it was unintentional, it is a pretty interesting coincidence. But if that was intentional, then that's pretty smart to think about. That's it. That's all I have to say. I was just sitting watching the endings, and I was waiting to choose. It was like after the catalyst stopped speaking and I had a choice to pick. I was like, wait, hold on a moment. I have, first of all, I have gone to like the ending part more than 6 times, but definitely less than 10. So I think around 7 or 8 times, or maybe once, because after I beat it the first time, I have not beaten it again after that. Maybe, I'm not sure. I used to just straight up play Mass Effect 3. There was like a lot of information. There was like some information I knew, as well as like some stuff that I had no idea about. Like I knew Miranda was with Cerberus, but I didn't know if she was still with Cerberus. I think I had an idea that she was a romanceable option, but just not for females. I knew of Jack. I knew that she went from like bald, like a skinhead, to like a full head of, like almost a full head of hair. I thought she was a mute. Like, I thought she was just one where like you wouldn't, like nothing was said. Like she wouldn't say anything. So it kind of got me confused as to how she was romanceable if she didn't say a fucking thing. But then I could have also contributed that to Christine Royce from Fallout New Vegas Dead Money DLC, because she's also bald. No sort of like hair, and she's a mute, not by choice, or not until after the DLC, but it's just, it seemed to, so, yeah, so I have known like a lot of this stuff beforehand, but something like the endings, granted, I never really knew of the whole like, oh, like, okay, I knew of, like, the blue, green, and red endings, but I never really knew, the significance of the blue or red. Like, oh, the blue is Paragon, and the red is Renegade. You know? But, yeah, so there's a lot of, like, information. I'm still, like, trying to figure out, like, I'm learning like all of this information of what was like some information I knew from Mass Effect without even playing it, or knowing very little. And the biggest one for me was like Miranda was with Cerberus, but I wasn't sure if she still is. Which I should have guessed. I should have figured she wasn't, judging by the fact that she kills her father, or she's chasing after her father. And he's working under Cerberus, so I should have figured that, like, maybe she was still working for Cerberus, but was just against her father, or something. So there's that. I also knew that Tali was a romance option. I don't know how I know that these people are romanceable options. I knew Miranda was. Kinda. I thought Jack was a mute. And I knew that Tali was a romanceable option. I didn't realize it was from the second game, though. That was the thing. At some point, I had tried to romance Miranda. I think I might have tried to romance her, but just didn't. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff I learned from... Because I have, like, a bad habit of, like, starting games up. Like, in the middle of the franchise. Like, I did that. I first started it with, like, Assassin's Creed, where I got Brotherhood, and then there's like so much information from the previous game that I didn't know, so I had to Google it, because I got it for the Xbox 360 and no one plays that shit anymore. Kinda. Where was I going with it? But yeah, so, and then Mass Effect 3 was kind of the same thing. I just started it like right in the middle of the game. Or like the end franchise is the one I started with. So like all this like previous past information I knew nothing about. I saw like the collector armor. My first thought whenever I got to like the Citadel standoff, because like you get accused of being Cerberus, was, what if I wore my Cerberus outfit to the standoff? And then I realized shit won't matter, because no one cares. Like there's no like extra dialogue. Like, oh, see, Shepard's in a Cerberus outfit, so she must be working for Cerberus, or he must be working for Cerberus. If I use like specific pronouns for Shepard, just deal with it, please. But yeah, but no one ever really thought. No one really cares to the fact that like you wore Cerberus armor to the standoff, which I find to be weird. Like it's clearly obvious that like during the whole Citadel attack with Cerberus, no one cares to mention the fact that if you wear Cerberus armor, no one seems to mention the fact that you are in Cerberus armor at all. So yeah, anyways, my ADHD kicked in. There's a whole lot of stuff I could talk about with Mass Effect. I kind of want to do like a separate video where like I just take notes of certain things. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I have. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. So with that being said, sorry, this video was a lot longer than I planned. As soon as I made my point and whatnot, it was like 3 minutes or 4 minutes in. I was like, there's gotta be something else I can talk about, because I don't want it to be like really, I don't want something like that to be like really short. But I also don't want it to be like an hour long of just me saying, oh, did you guys know that this very, very minor detail is really, really, really big, so much so that I need to spend an hour talking about it. So yeah, with that being said, hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like. Leave a comment down below. Did you guys know about this? Probably. I guarantee you, 99% of you who are watching this video who have played Mass Effect are like, dude, everyone knows this. I didn't, alright? So, yeah. And if you didn't, cool. We can learn together. And And also, let me know, what ending do you guys go to and why? I understand that like a lot of people go to like the destruction ending because that's like the best, and you can get the best ending off of it. But like aside from the destruction ending, what's kind of your like go-to ending? And tell me why. And if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. And if you do subscribe, make sure to hit that bell notification to be notified as to when I upload, because I don't have a fucking schedule. Loser Maniac out.